Before we begin, thank you very much to She wore an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot convoy that she wore for the first time today. Again, I'm not going to sing. If you are putting in the weird ones like that, do not expect me to sing them. I cannot sing to save my life. But thank you very much for pitching in over on Ko-fi. Thank you for the support. Keeps the channel going. Keeps the free content coming. Whew. Okay. So, this is a Patreon requested video, and it's a very timely one. Now that Super Sentai is over, we are awaiting the debut of Gavan Infinity. It is time to go over and look at all of these Super Sentai designs over the last 50 years. This is going to take a bit. So, for this list, I've just taken one image of all of the Red Rangers. We are not going to start breaking it down into, well, the Yellow Ranger looked really good in this design, but maybe not the Blue Ranger, and then like the 6th Ranger in this series looked like this. And like, no. So the idea is just a general breakdown of which Sentai series had the best suits and my overall thoughts about the overall look. So when we get to Zenkaiger, then we have a weird discussion. But until then, all I'm doing is basing this off of general vibe and just overall appearance. So don't get too hung up on this, and I'm going to try to be as very quick as possible about this, so this isn't a 2-hour video. So it starts with Ohranger, and Ohranger immediately goes up to premium. I do like the overall look to the show design. I like the spikes going down the sides. The logo in the center is not like too overwhelming. It's bordering on too overwhelming. It's bordering on too overwhelming, but I do think it's a good mix. I do think it's an overall good suit design. Battle Fever J is a weird one. This is incredibly divisive. So it is very much like a personal preference thing. I'm going to put it at the middle in the retail because I do like how weird it is. I do kind of like how gimmicky it is compared to other Super Sentai designs. I think it's fun. It definitely stands out. Miss America drags down a little bit, but I like it overall. Which takes me to Bioman. I do like the overall look of the Bioman suit. We're going to get into this range of like Showa era Super Sentai where a lot of the suits are just kind of like a design and doesn't really mesh with the motif that they're going for. But Bioman manages to do it well enough. Not a tremendous design, but enough for like a retail. And you'll notice I'm going to kind of put these like just at the end. I'm not going to divvy up like, well, this is a high retail, this is a low premium. We're not doing that this time because there's going to be way too much debate happening. And that takes us to Boom Boonger. I really do not like this suit. I do not like this suit. It just comes down to that tire for the visor. Like, I really do not like that overall look. The rest of the suit's okay. I don't like the use of the gray. Like, there's something weird about the gray being like a prominent color on a Super Sentai suit that just doesn't do it for me. I would much rather have been black, but that's just me. Silver, maybe. Just not the flat gray. It looks weird. Okay. You knew this was happening. You knew this was happening. I mean, Bokenger immediately makes it up to the Holy Grail tier. I like the little bits of armor across it. Those little hits of chrome look really, really good. I like the overall look. The lights across the helmet, I think, are a good touch for an adventuring team. Yeah, I like it overall. It's not too complicated. It's got this right level of just standout pop. I like this one. I like this one. Of course I do. All right, Kyoryuger. Now, how much do you like your really weird, gimmicky Sentai designs? Because these guys looking like the front end of a car. This can make or break. This can make or break. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. Actually, if I'm gonna be real here, I kind of really like this suit design. Remember, we're not judging show quality. We are simply judging by appearance. You know, the way you're not supposed to do in society. But here we are. So overall look, I like it. I like it. I like it. Changeman is one of those where I feel like they just put white and red in a pattern and called it a day. He looks like he's just wearing a crop top shirt, and I'm not sure I'm into that. Like it's gonna like it's a midriff shirt or a tube top. I don't like this design. I do not like this design. I don't think it's flea market bad. I don't think it's flea market bad, but it's a weird one. It takes us to Zyuranger. Zyuranger is always a little bit weird. I do overall like it. The helmet designs are actually pretty cool in this series. I'm not like in love with it. I'm not in love with it. I can put it retail release. I will put it there. Get into Dekaranger. Now, I like the overall helmet design on these with like the really sharp, large visor pieces. You know, it's kind of like if like a Sonic the Hedgehog designer designed a Sentai helmet. I like the numbering down the side and the asymmetric look that it gives. I think that's a really, really nice like standout. I mean, I'm impartial to Dekaranger as my first Sentai, so I'm going to be a little bit nice to it. But yeah, I like that suit a lot. Denjiman. So this is getting into like really old school Sentai stuff here. Aesthetically, I'm gonna say no on this one. I'm gonna say no. He just looks like a guy wearing a shirt, and the helmet design itself I don't think is really that good. Like I'm comfortable making that the first of the flea market choices. I'm going to be very unfair to a lot of the early Super Sentais, I know, because they're designed for a much older aesthetic that is not my thing. But this is just how this is going to go. Someone wanted my opinion on all the suits, this is what you're getting. Move on to Dawn Brothers. This one's okay. This is where we're getting into that era of Super Sentai trying harder to be more like Kamen Riders. You're getting more armor designs showing up. This one is not bad. Maybe a little bit overdone with the giant visor, but it's not bad. I'm not in love with it or anything, so I can put it at retail. I think that's going to be fair for me. Dynaman. The baseball themed suits. This is another weird one. Like, because I see where the origin of the design is, I can't quite take it seriously enough. I'm not crazy on it. I'm not crazy on it. I like some of the design work in the helmet, but other than that, like it's just like a very weird vibe to the suit, like knowing like where its origins and designs come from. Let me get into 5-man. It's the Roman numeral 5 as a suit. I'm not sure where we're going with this one. I'm not sure why they were going with this one. Again, I'm not a big fan of it. 5-man in general, like what do you do with that? Like aesthetically, what do you do with that as a concept? I know the show itself has the other themes and all that, and they probably based it off of that, but I can't see it in the suit. All I can see is a bunch of V's. I don't know, like this is where we get into that era of the uninspired. Here's Flashman, who I kind of feel the same way about. Now the color layout's okay. Yeah, just a little bit dull in the helmet and like, Yeah, am I just gonna be like really mean to like Showa era Sentai? Is that just like gonna be how it goes? It was a different era. It was different design. It was different aesthetic, and it wasn't for me. It just feels like I can't tell the theme of the series from the suit, you know? Like it just feels like they were just throwing design together without really any kind of like bearing on the overall theme. And it just feels generic as a result. But on the other hand, Gokaiger here, like this has some this has some different design element to it. You know, I like the gold slash across the side. I mean, I like the gold belt and all that. The logo off to the side gives it more like a uniform look. This is not bad. This is not bad. It's not quite a standout, but I can put it up to retail and be okay leaving it there. Gekiranger. Okay, now I'm getting into unique design. Apparently the reason we never got figure arts of these guys, even though Rio and Melee were designed for figure arts, was because with no belt, they didn't have any way at the time of disguising the waist joint. They've gotten around that since then, but we're probably still never seeing hide nor hair of these, and I hate it because I like this overall look. Like, I like the animal prints that they put on the side. That kind of invokes the design that they're going for, even if you can't pick up the tiger in his helmet design. You can get it from the slashes, which is good. I think because like it's so martial arts focused that year, I can like forgive like how solid the red is without, you know, being broken up. I think it's an overall good look. Overall, I do think that's a good look. Gingaman. I'm not entirely sure where the black striping comes from. I'm always a little bit iffy on this one. I'm always a little bit iffy on this one because it, again, just kind of falls in that design realm of we just kind of put shapes on a suit and called it a day. I mean, it does do the same thing. It does invoke like a tooth design, which, you know, they're all wild animal based. So, okay, I will give that. I don't know. I think it's just too much white in the torso. I think that's what it is. I think it's just not mixing well enough for me. Okay, Go Buster is definitely a very strong one. Go Buster is a really strong one for me. I like the color visor. That was not done often enough in Super Sentai. The leather suit is a much different look than what I had in the past. Like, it's got the right hits to break up the colors across it. You know what? I might put that all the way up to Holy Grail. I think I really like that suit design. And we're going back into Showa. Yep, Goggle 5. See, the helmet at least is trying to be a lot more ornate. You know, and that I can kind of get behind. Like, that does make it a little bit more unique looking. But at the same time, it really doesn't convey down into the suit itself. The suit, again, looks very basic. Which, again, this was in the 70s. like, they didn't really put a lot of effort into the suits overall. So I just have to go with whatever I can. Okay, GoGo 5. Now, again, unique helmet designs get me a lot. So I kind of like this one based on like the big visor shaped parts, which, you know, that was different. No face mask, just a visor, all in like different badge shapes. The overall suit design, definitely, like, they do break up the color well enough here. It's not just generic shapes this time. Like, it is actually supposed to just be like this, like, warning. It looks like a warning light in the pattern. And I do like that. I do like that overall. Not like a huge like, but, you know, we can put it up to retail again. Oh, well. Now we're just hitting peak. Now we're just hitting peak. You can tell it's a pirate. You know, immediately. You have the logo, the chest, which is not overbearing. Gold's doing a good job of breaking up the design overall. Yeah, Captain Marvel is always going to look good. Captain Marvel is always going to look good. Gokaiger suits in general always look good. Let's try Go-Onger. Okay, weird season, but again, I actually really like this suit design. This is another one where we're judging this on a curve because there's 3 suit designs in that series. They all have their own tricks and variations. But overall, I do like the overall look. The racing harness buckle does give you like a really good shape to the torso. It's, again, thematic. You know, it's a basic shape that actually plays into the aesthetic. That's what I like in a Super Sentai design. So this works out for me really well. This works really well. Okay, and then we get into the classic Go Rangers. Now, see, this is where, like, I start looking at the other suits in the Showa era, and I go, like, You see, it's not all that hard. You can come up with something that is vaguely standout and still looks really good despite the era it came out in. So I like the overall look to this. The V to the chest, the single V, I think works. The big belt buckle is a little bit odd, but it definitely stands out. More than that, I like the helmet designs here. And again, color visors help, but the visors all had unique shapes as well. More so than other Sentai series, I should add. Like, it's a lot more out there. Yeah, I think the Akari, I think the Go Rangers had a good look. I think, like, Aqua Red here is pretty good. All right, moving on. Up to Gokaiger. So this is where I start talking about I've been mentioning like the size of the logos that they put on. I don't mind the logo across the chest. This is where it gets a little bit overwhelming, where the only design of the chest is the logo. This is just too big. Again, we're doing like the midriff cutoff thing that I don't like the look of. I prefer either go all the way down to the belt or don't. Like one or the other. I mean, there's some style to it, but otherwise, like, I know. I'm not big on that one. Not really big on this one. I'll give it some style points, but I think it's doing some things wrong. That's just not me, not my aesthetic. All right. Kyoryuger. I really did mean to give this show a shot. I really did, because I like the overall concept of it, and I really like the suit designs. It's vaguely like everyone gets to be a little bit like Mighty Morphin Green Ranger. Everyone kind of gets this cool looking body armor. The overall look is good. I like how broken up the colors are across the design. I like the gold accents. I will put that up to Holy Grail. I think while Gokaiger left a few things to be desired as a final series, and it left off in an unfortunate controversy, that is still a really, really solid design. I think as like the final Red Ranger for now is a very, very strong design to go out on. Hurricaneger. So we're working a ninja vibe here, and I do get the ninja vibe. There's something about like this gray works. So like where the other gray felt overwhelming in the Boonbonger design, here where it's used as like the opens, like the loose sleeve, like in more like in the outfit I would expect of a ninja. Let's put it that way. This I think works better. This I think it actually thematically works here. So I want to put you all the way up to premium. I like your overall designs. Keep in mind, we are looking at the overall. This is like overall like opinion of like how these suit designs turned out. So I have to include the Gokaiger in here as well. And they look really, really good. They look really good. So yeah, I have to account for that too. So yeah, overall like that one. Like that one overall. All right, JAKQ. Again, proof to me that like Showa just had this period where they really didn't know what to do with the suit designs for their theme, so they just kind of stuck white shapes onto a red suit and called it a day. Because this, again, has personality to it. This is very upfront with the card theme that they were working with that Sentai. Again, you have unique visor shapes that are colored. The overall look, I actually really like JAKQ. And then we have to account for Big One. Like, that's a suit design also that I always really liked. So, yeah, this one is very strong for me. I do really like this one. See, I can be nice to some of the Showa era series. I feel like there's some that like put genuine effort into standing out and having really cool design, and then others just kind of like phoned it in. All right, Jetman, the series we almost got as Power Rangers. So I like the overall look. I like the eagle is kind of like the shoulder pauldron body armor thing. I like the shapes to it and how it all kind of flows downward. That works. I like the eagle helmet. It's very distinct and stand out. I can tell exactly what your theme is just by looking at you. What is with the Superman trunks on the outside? That's not okay. I'm looking through all of these images. I can't see another Red Ranger in here that's going with like the booty shorts. So I wish that's it's the one part where it gets me. It's the one part where it gets me. I think this design is actually really good, except for that. That's throwing me off just a little bit. I like that on a normal superhero design. I like on a Superman, I am like a trunks out person. This looks weird. This looks a little bit weird. I'm still going to put in premium price. I think if it was solid red legs and they worked the white in there somewhere else, like is like more like V pattern stripes or something, this would hit me a lot stronger. But it's the weird shorts that are getting me here. All right, Kakuranger. So a lot of solid color here, a little bit more minimalist aesthetic, but in the same way of like Gekiranger, where because the martial arts is kind of a theme, I kind of expect a design like this. This does feel, you know, about as ninja as I could get while still being bright red. It's not a thrilling design. Like if I was doing this like if I was doing this as standard, like this would be like low premium, whereas Gekiranger would be high premium. Because like they're both going for a very similar aesthetic, but I think Geki pulls it off better. In this realm, I think, yeah, like I'm not bothering with that. There's too many nuances to account for. Okay, in a similar vein, King-Ohger. The overall shape looks really, really cool. I'm not going to take that away. The armor looks cool. The cape looks cool. Helmets on them are fantastic. Like, King-Ohger has some really, really strong design element to them. There's way too much solid color. Like, I need something in there to break that up. I mean, like, I will admit, like, a Kakuranger and a Gekiranger are also very solid color designs, but they're working an aesthetic to that, whereas this just feels bright red for the sake of being bright red with nothing deviating in it whatsoever. I need more of these little stripes and these little hits. Like, yeah, the armor design gives it a unique look, but being the same color just means there's a few weird shapes mixed into it. You know, whereas, like, you know, you look like the slashes on Geki Red, and, like, they are, like, a lot more standout. They're, like, a little bit more identifying. Yeah, I'll be nice. This would be, again, like a low premium. This could be a holy grail. I just think it needs a little bit. Throw some black in there just to break the colors up a little bit. All right, Kiramager. So again, this actually does break things up a little bit. So I like the sash was the as the road, since everyone had a vehicle theme. The gemstones for little elements like the pauldron and the helmet, I like that as well. It's not like thrilling me, but I can admit good suit design when good suit design shows up, so I would put it up to premium there. I do like that a lot. All right, Kyoryuger. And again, this is another suit design I actually really, really like. And the thing about Kyoryuger is that they did something rare in Super Sentai. They had no Yellow Ranger whatsoever. But that meant that yellow sash got to be on everyone, which meant everyone got to be a little bit more colorful than normal on a Sentai design. That worked for me. And the fact that, like, it worked across every character and design, I thought was a really cool touch. And then another aspect of this that I don't see on many suits, and I think I should see it more often, two-tone. The sleeves being a darker red, that works better. I think they could have used a little bit of that darker color across more of them, but I do think it makes it a really, really cool design overall. I really, really like that one. And again, unique visor. You know, mouth plate in the middle, the black visor area. That's actually kind of cool looking too. I like that one too. Well, that's a lot of good design. A lot of good design work. All right, Kyuranger. And again, this I feel is, again, peak design. I liked Kyuranger a lot more than a lot of people did. Especially this boy here, Lucky. He didn't get on my nerves like everyone else's. I love the star design on the chest and the orb there. Oh gee, I wonder why I like that design. The constellations as the visor is a really cool touch. It's solid color, but you have enough breaking it up here and there that it just kind of works for me. This is one area where, like, the midriff being exposed isn't really bothering me as much as it did before. Also, we are judging this again as a full series, not just the Red Ranger. I have to take a look at all of the suit designs. And I love that this series had the idea of making everyone unique, like Oshi Black is just built like a powerhouse. Oh my god. If I'm trying to remember everybody, I'm going to get lost. But like the idea that every suit looked different rather than just by color or minor design change. Everyone had unique design element, whether it was wings, bulk, fur, etc. Yeah, they did a really good job with that series. I love the design work in there. Liveman. I mean, it's not a bad design. Like, it's weird that white is almost the primary color here. It's like almost like 50-50 billing with the red. The logo in the chest is pretty bold, but the fact that it's just an outline helps that a lot. So like now it just kind of is a blend in detail that I don't mind. And again, bird head, not bad. So where do I put you? I think that's fair to put you up to retail. Like, it's not popping at me, but it's also not offending me in any way. I think this is a fine design. Okay, Lupin Ranger. Now, for the sake of having 50 even, I did what Super Sentai did. I have split these series into Lupin Ranger and Patranger. I know they are overall the same suit. It's just one focused with black, one focused with white. But the Lupins themselves, that's just a really good look. Like, I like this. Like, I really like the Lupin design of like Japanese thief with the top hat, the cape, and all this. The really flamboyant thief. I think that is a really cool looking design, and the black definitely works better for this suit design than the white's going to. That said, it's still gonna look pretty good once we get there. Magiranger. Okay, Magi is another strong suit design. I think I might just have a thing for the capes. I think the capes might just be doing it for me. But Magi is also really, really good. I like the black stripes and the yellow trim running through the entirety of the suit. You have that vague Magiranger M in there. That's a very large logo, but it's a logo that's blending into this overall design in a way that I think really makes it good. And the visor being their animals looks really, really cool. So yeah, I think Magiranger goes very high. I think Magiranger is a very, very good one. Maskman. We're doing it again. We're doing it again. Number one, it's a very vague theme to work with. Number two, you put a 5 on his chest, even though this is not 5-man. It's an overall okay. It is a completely okay design. I don't think it has much personality to it, but the color blend isn't too bad. The chrome belt is at least a standout. I don't know, he just looks very generic, doesn't he? He just looks very generic. I would put him high bargain bin if I were to be asked. But for now, yeah. I don't know, he just looks too plain. He looks too plain. I guess that's just because of the theme of the series doesn't have a lot to work with, but still, I think it just gets lost in the mix. Okay, Megaranger. Keeping in mind that the theme is not necessarily space, like it was in the American version. It was much more high school and video game themed than anything. I like unique elements to this, like having the color of all 5 across the chest design. That's actually kind of neat. I will admit, when you look at it outside of like your nostalgia for in space, you just judge it just based on the overall shapes and colors and all that, it does get a little plain looking. I like the overall helmet design. The fact that the visor continues up into the top of the helmet, so that's like a display for their computer ability. That's fine. But yeah, I'm actually surprised that like once we get it out of its nostalgia range, yeah, I just kind of lose my interest in it. You know, it's a cool looking design, but I don't think it's like striking or like standout compared to others. Okay, Ninninger. Probably the most thematic and strongest of the ninja themes that we've seen. Now, the series itself, I wasn't a fan of. The overall suit design, I think I do like a lot. It's going for a very similar vibe to what Shinkenger did. We haven't even gotten to Shinkenger on this list yet. But I do think it works for the ninja vibe. I like the subtle asymmetry of it. You know, I like the overall shape. Like, it's got the logo thing going, but it's almost more ornate. Like, it's blending better. It's blending better. This, I think, in a normal tier list would be like low Holy Grail. If I was bothering to break it up like that. It is a really strong suit. Maybe not strong series, but really strong suit. Ohranger. Okay, so now we're going to test a lot of what I've been talking about before. So we have this ornate chest design. That's fine. We have the unique visors to them. That's fine. Maybe a little bit too much solid color going on in the suit. Not enough to break it up. So overall, like I think that balances it out a little bit. I'm not sure if I would put it. This one would be like high retail release. I just feel like I need like some striping going through the actual body suit, or like something. I need this tech pattern to continue elsewhere in the design. There's a little bit on the boot and glove cuffs, but not nearly as prominent. Like, just like some stripes going down, some kind of pattern going across like the sides and down the leg, just to kind of like drag that gold down a little bit. That would get me. That would get me. That would hit. But I don't know. As it is, I think it's just like one note off from being like a really great suit design. Okay, so here's Patranger. So again, it is the same suit design as Liveman. They just changed the hat the visor is based on, and they switched the black to white. And for the most part, yeah. So like instead of capes, they have little shoulder guards, etc. So it's still overall the same suit. It is designed to hit differently, though. It does. I don't think it is a bad design overall. That said, I don't think it's quite as strong as the Liveman Rangers. So that is where we put a premium price point at. Moving on to Resoldier. Again, asymmetry works here. I'm not entirely like sold on the black striping going down the side. The idea is that you are looking at it from the side and you're getting that like armored T-Rex vibe that they are going for with the overall look, or the armored dragon vibe if you want to believe like the rumors that this was originally a dragon based series and then they got cold feet and went no dinosaurs instead, those sell easier. So I do like the overall look. The asymmetry does work for me a little bit. It's just like the black striping, I get what they're going for, but it doesn't hit me immediately. But that's a spot in premium, I think. And now we get to talk about Shinkenger. Shinkenger's probably going for a premium price point as well. I do like the overall look to create a gi. That's where like you create a very simple design that is still very thematic, and you see what they're going for. So, you know, it kind of works in that, like, it doesn't look too cheap. It doesn't look too, like, just like I plastered a few stripes and then sent you on your way. The kanji as a visor is an inspired choice. Those always looked really good on these guys. I think that moves to premium price. I think that's a really good suit design. Sun Vulcan. Okay, so here we go again. Like this is we already talked about one of these where like it seems like there's some ornate elements to it that are maybe like a little too ornate for Sentai, and then everything else just kind of feels like we put shapes on him. Like, what do I get from Sun Vulcan other than he's wearing this little sun badge on his chest? Like, you know, like I don't know. I don't know. Like the ornate belt and the head crest is a little bit odd considering like there's no presence of that anywhere else on his suit. And again, I'm not getting a whole lot of like the vibe that I should be getting with the look. It just kind of like it just feels like they are just putting a suit together. You know, nothing like terribly special on it. Timeranger is again one of those that I have to put my Time Force nostalgia aside. But that said, I do think it still looks really, really good. It's another one of those suits where I kind of feel like I need a little bit. Like this is just a little bit short of being a really, really good looking suit. But that said, it does have some standouts. Like the overall chest design, I do like. Like mimicking the Red Ranger's visor is a neat touch, but it also counts as like an arrow on a clock, if you want to view it that way. You know, I love this. I love the helmet designs. Again, the color visors stand out a lot. The heavy use of black is different on a helmet. I think that is a good suit. I just think it's a little missing a little bit something that would have sent it up to the Holy Grail level. Yeah. Okay, so the Toqger suits, I'm not gonna lie, I have never really liked. I feel like the intention behind them was to be as simple as possible. You know, because of the whole like color changing gimmick they went with, anyone can be any color. But at the same time, it just kind of feels there. You know, like it doesn't feel like a really standout. Like the train track visor is okay. For the train theme, I don't mind that. It's just the overall body design just feels like, you know, you printed something on spandex and it's very, very quick and cheap. Yeah, so that one never really hit me very well. Like Turboranger. So at the very least, we do have like the vehicle theme in the helmet here. Again, the bodysuit just kind of feels like we put designs and sent on this on the spandex and sent them on their way. Way too many of these suits are literally just like solid color pants and sleeves and then white boots. Like way too many of these designs go for that immediately. Like I feel like the ones that I put like higher up tend to avoid that. You know, like there's some up there. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Like there's some up there that keep that design style. You know, definitely like Kyoryuger, but like for the most part, yeah. Like when you do something different on the legs and you keep the color broken up, I tend to go for it a little bit stronger. I tend to be into it a little bit more. Again, this one just kind of feels generic. It's not as bad as some of the others, but like it's not actually like wowing or impressing me in any way. Okay. Okay. Remember, this is not judging Red Ranger suits. This is judging the overall look of the Sentai's suit designs for that year. Zenkaiger, we know, is a very, very odd series. All of the suit designs are basically mini mecha. You know, they're all robots except for the lead character. At the time, and I still believe this, there's no, like, I haven't looked up any kind of confirmation or interview to confirm it. This still just feels like if the main Ranger cast is in a suit, except for the one main guy, then we don't have to worry about COVID-19 restrictions because everyone is basically masked during filming. So that's what always got to me. That's the vibe I always got, was that like this was switched up in design specifically to do something like that. But it does mean this team is incredibly unique. There is a Blue Ranger entirely dedicated to Bokenger that I love. We threw another Gokaiger design in there because why not at this point? So for uniqueness, I think I have to put it all the way to Holy Grail. Now, if we're just judging for myself, I love the I love the Zenkaiger design, the mix of Gokaiger and Big One. I think this looks really cool. It's like a very rare Rainbow Ranger. Zyuranger. Yeah. Man, Denjiman looking real lonely there in the flea market level. Denjiman looking real lonely there in the flea market level. I hate these suits. I hate these suits. I mean, okay, maybe you might have something with like the jagged edges on the gloves and the boots. That's at least kind of unique, but it doesn't really give me like the theme of what you're going for in your show. And after that, it just looks like if you didn't have that print of an eagle on your chest, this would be the most bland Sentai suit ever. You know, and like just printing an eagle on the chest does not do anything for me. It just feels like a very lazy design. But we're going to finish it up with, of course, the classic for the American fans. You know, the Zyuranger original look, Power Rangers, etc. If I'm judging this completely by my own aesthetics and my own designs, then this is still a really, really good looking suit. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's a reason why this thing sold better than, you know, any boys' toy line ever. I feel like if I put in Holy Grail, that's my nostalgia talking. Because overall, there are aspects to it that I think other Sentai suits do better. Again, you're talking like big solid red legs. You're talking maybe it need a little bit more broken up, and maybe a little like vague on the overall theme of like the dinosaurs, where like the diamond pattern is supposed to like show like dinosaur teeth, but they're not arranged like dinosaur teeth, so that doesn't get across as well as I think it should have. And then again, like I think the Green Ranger's design just kind of invoked a like, yeah, like the broken up look would have been a little bit better. I think in all fairness, being completely like as impartial as I can be, I think premium is fair, but I don't think it like pops and excels completely. Okay, and that is going to do it for a very long tier listing. That's 50 Super Sentai designs. So I'm sorry to Akiba Ranger fans, but this was limited to official only. I was literally told just stick to the main Sentais. Do not deviate from that, or else we're going to get into a lot of like tertiary territory, comic book designs, Akiba Ranger. Didn't want to make it too much of like a... Didn't want to steer off course too much. This was about the main designs for the main Sentais. That's what we did today. So, thank you very much for the request. I hope this is what you're after. I hope this is at least entertaining to you. But, as always, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.